I have chest pains. Good morning, y'all. It's Timidity. My chest hurts, but it's always gonna be in pain, so it's okay. I mean, it happens when I'm nervous, but I'll be fine. You can't really, how do I put this? A good lesson in life that I learned early is that nothing can embarrass you if you're not embarrassed by it. Because think of it this way. You know that, like, serenity prayer that people who are recovering addicts or whatever, or even people who go to church, I forget, people also, I think they go to church and say it too. Either you can control the shit or you can't. So whether it's someone telling the truth about you or lying, you can't be mad. Because, one, if it's true, there's no reason to be mad. It's just someone stating a fact. And if it's false, no reason to be mad either, because then you just think, this dude's a fucking idiot. That is the most false thing I've ever heard. And you can even laugh if you want. That's what I always do. And of course, nothing ever pisses off a person who's trying to piss you off more than you not being pissed off. Like, for example, recently with the holiday season coming in and it being all dark and gloomy and all the men are at home with their Wi-Fi connections getting shitty due to the cold weather. And they're just at home, not able to watch Pornhub, cold as shit, with their families, but no girlfriend, all in their feelings. And then they go, I know who I can hit up. I'll hit up Tamia, my ex-girlfriend. And that's what I've gotten several messages from. I think, yeah, 3 different men. Maybe 4. That we'll see how the 4th one turns out. But the first 2 are very specific. One of them, actually both of them, technically in separate ways, in some way or form ruined my life and made me the person who I am today. And so I don't respect them whatsoever, or how I talk to them, because fuck them. But to keep it simple, my friend Marco, who isn't even a friend, I don't respect them whatsoever, and even recently we got into a whole screaming match, which I will talk to you about. He hit me up on Thanksgiving, like, Happy Thanksgiving. I said thanks. He said, okay. And then when he realized I wasn't gonna message him after that, he just got salty with me and all angry and shit. And I like to do this thing where if I don't want to talk to a man, like, for any reason, but then they keep trying to pester me for sex, or pester me for attention or whatever, by then it's like, okay, you clearly feel entitled to my time, my emotions, or a reaction, or something from me. But do you like me enough to actually see me as worth an investment? Because if you don't like a person and you wouldn't be willing to spend money on them, then in no way are you entitled to my time, because time is money. I told him, hey, by the way, my card is malfunctioning since my bank did something fucked up, and I need to go to the bank to fix it. Is it okay if you give me a $14 Uber? And he refused because we've had a lot of fights before, and that's a long story on its own. But basically, I called him broke, and then he got mad at me. Even though that's true, and he shouldn't have been mad. And then he basically started using any insult in the book that he could think of with me. He was like, hey, fuck you, you're lonely and a whore. And I didn't care. 'Cause it's not a lie. It's like, if someone comes up to me and they're like, ha, you have no friends. It's just like, it took you that long to notice? That's kind of obvious. Like hell, even when I went to make my first bank account when I was 18 years old, and I was counting out pennies one by one because no one taught me it was social etiquette to come to the bank with rolled up quarters and pennies and coins, so they just let me do it right in front of them. And the fucking bank manager was just sitting there and watching me count these pennies one by one. Total, like, full mind effort, because my brain doesn't always process shit immediately. And I didn't want to lose count. She was staring at me in my fucked up ass flannel and my ratty ass beanie, just staring at pennies for a super long time, and then she just looked at me very politely with a smile, and I don't know why the fuck she did it, but she looked at me and said, are you a loner? And I just had to pause, because I was trying to process that situation, and I was mad. I had to stop counting my fucking coins. And I just had to look up at her and say, I don't even have a bank account. I don't think I can make loans yet. And then she said, no, honey, I mean, do you have friends? And I was like, oh, yeah, no. And then she was like, oh, okay. And then she tried to tell me about her 14-year-old niece or whatever who makes music. Anyway, why would she even ask me that? What kind of, it's like, hey, welcome. This is your first time at a bank and I know you're new here. We're going to treat you nice. I noticed that you seem fucking socially inept. How are you? It's funny though. Anyway, so when someone is like, hey, you're a whore, it's like, no shit. Look at my page. Why would... Or it's like, hey, you're lonely. Yeah. You're a whore. Accurate. You don't have friends. And then usually, that depends on the occasion. Sometimes it's like, actually, I have like a solid 2.5 friends, so that's a lie. And I can't even be mad. I just find it funny. Or it's like, oh, I don't have friends. And then they'll get mad because you just agree with them. Like, you really just can't, nothing can get you down if you don't let it to. Like, I don't know, I'm wearing a ratty-ass robe right now. My hair is all fucking, I know, it's just not staying down, but it never does. I'm okay with it. And I'm not wearing my usual lip gloss, earrings shit because I don't feel the need to impress anybody, and I'm not going to be embarrassed seeing myself on my own page because guess what? This is what I look like. There's so many subcultures around, oh, you should be ashamed of being who you really are, be secretive as much as possible, hide your body, hide your face with tons of makeup, oh, do this, do that. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. Anyway, Marco then got very, very mad at me because, and then he kept blowing up my phone for 2 hours, just trying to throw whatever he could stick at a wall, even trying to go as low as possible, like, ha, well, you are, at least I'm not slow, get it? And then he paused and said, is that too mean? But then he said, fuck it, you're mean to me anyway. You have ass burgers, get it? Ha, and he literally texted me, capital A, capital S again, BURGERS, and he spaced it out and everything. And I just thought, Lord, man. And then my other ex did the same shit, because basically, well, to be fair, I was really just purposely annoying him. That story alone is kind of funny. He was like, how much would it cost to be with you? And I just said $3,000, and then he was mad as fuck over that. But that's the point. If I say something like, oh, you want to have sex with me? That's $3,000. He actually tried to get at me like, wow, like, you know, of course he does what any man who can't afford something does. He tries to make you feel bad for having it that price or make it seem like you're too low priced. So he's like, ha, you'd hoe yourself out for $3,000? How lame and pathetic. And I think that's more of an insult on him. Because it's like $3,000. Like, how do I put this? How do I put this nicely? If $3,000 isn't like chump change. It's not like, you know, there are more desperate things I could have done if I was ever struggling for money. I could have said something small like, oh, just like $300, or oh, just like a good meal, or oh, can you buy me groceries, or this or that. But no, I said 3,000, aka it would mean I would have to have you pay for like 3 months of rent or something for me to ever consider starfishing on a bed for you. And it's an insult to him that he said himself without me even saying it, to be like, wow, you'd have sex with me for $3,000? You must be desperate to have sex with me for $3,000. Like, how low was his self-esteem and or his foresight to make that comment? Lord, that's embarrassing. But anyway, I only said it because I specifically knew $3,000, he does not have that. He may be a rich kid, but of course, you know, that's kind of like if I went to someone who fails every single class and I said, hey, to have sex with me, you need to get straight A's and get into Harvard. They're obviously, at first, their first thought's going to be, wow, that's all it takes? Anyone can fuck you. And then it's like, no, see, anyone but you. And that's specifically why I do it. But anyway, long story short, I forgot why I made this video, but I'm gonna post it. Oh yeah, you can't be embarrassed by shit if it's true. That's just life. What, you're gonna get mad at reality? Pfft, that's some chump shit.